When the end came for humanity, it didn't come with fire or flood, it came with light. A brilliance so pure it peeled the night sky open like a wound. I remember the day clearly. The sun fractured into 7 burning shards, and the sky turned violet. Every radio wave screamed with static. Every compass spun madly. The earth itself trembled as if in awe of what was arriving. That was the day she descended, the Celestial Empress. I was just a systems engineer stationed on Helios 9, a decaying orbital platform built to monitor solar anomalies. We'd been watching the star for months, noting strange fluctuations in its output. But nothing could have prepared us for the anomaly that emerged from its heart. A colossal ship that dwarfed mountains, drifting out of the solar corona like a phantom. The vessel didn't reflect light, it devoured it. Its surface shimmered with patterns like moving constellations. And then it spoke, not in words, but in thoughts. Your species stands at the edge of extinction. I can save one. Her voice, no, her presence, invaded my mind. It was like being touched by eternity. Before I could react, a beam of light enveloped me. The next moment, I was standing inside her ship, a cathedral of impossible architecture. The walls breathed. Nebulas swirled through transparent corridors. And at the center, on a throne of pure starlight, sat her, the Celestial Empress. She looked human at first glance, tall, regal, draped in a gown woven from shifting galaxies. Her eyes, however, contained the cosmos themselves. Stars died and were reborn in her gaze. You are the chosen one, she said, her voice echoing through me. Your kind has reached its limit. You may perish with them or transcend with me. I wanted to speak, but words felt primitive in her presence. My mind screamed with 1,000 thoughts, yet she already knew them all. You crave purpose, she said softly. You seek to outlive your fragile shell. Serve me, and I shall make you eternal. That was her offer. Immortality, but at a cost. My servitude, forever. And as humanity burned below us, I accepted. She remade me in her image. My body disintegrated into stardust, reassembled in light. I became something else, part human, part energy, bound to her will. I could see the threads of space-time, hear the whispers of dying suns. Every breath was an echo of creation. The Empress named me Lyrain, the eternal witness. My first duty was to accompany her across galaxies, observing civilizations she had saved. I soon realized her salvation was not mercy, it was assimilation. Worlds that accepted her offer were woven into her empire of light. Their inhabitants became beings of radiance, losing individuality but gaining infinite existence. Their cultures were preserved as holographic memories in the Empress's archives, their emotions distilled into pure energy to sustain her dominion. She was both goddess and parasite, and I was her herald. For centuries, or perhaps millennia, time had lost meaning. I watched countless species make the same choice I did. Some resisted and were obliterated. Others submitted and were reborn in her light. But over the ages, I began to remember fragments of what I once was, a human. The feel of rain on skin, the laughter of friends, the sound of waves crashing on old earth shores. These memories haunted me. You are troubled, the Empress said one eon, her tone curious. I remember being mortal, I replied. I remember love, fear, loss. Those are weaknesses, she said, eyes glimmering. I took them from you. But without them, I said, what am I? She studied me as though I were a crack in her perfect creation. Then she smiled, an event as rare as a dying star being reborn. Perhaps I gave you too much freedom, my witness. That was the first time she feared me. It was during the fall of Ethernus, a civilization of energy beings rivaling even her power, that I made my choice. The Empress commanded me to consume their essence and add their strength to her own. But the Etherites had something the Empress could never understand. Unity born of empathy, not control. They reached out to me, not through dominance, but compassion. They showed me a vision of what eternity could be, coexistence, not servitude. Something human inside me awoke. I turned against her. It was an act of betrayal written across galaxies. The Empress's wrath tore through the stars. She summoned her celestial legions, each one an echo of her own light, and I stood against them, alone. But I had something she didn't. Choice. Using the energy she had given me, I forged a prison of collapsing dimensions, a labyrinth of folded space, and lured her inside. As she entered, her voice thundered across the void. You cannot contain the infinite. Maybe not forever, I whispered, but long enough. I sealed her within the rift, binding her consciousness to the fabric of a dying nebula. The explosion consumed me, or so I thought. When I awoke, I was drifting in the ruins of time itself. My form flickered between light and flesh. I was neither mortal nor immortal, something in between. I found myself on a world that had once been Earth, now frozen and barren. I wandered among the ruins of cities swallowed by centuries. No voices, no warmth, only the whisper of starlight. For ages, I lived there, watching distant galaxies shimmer in the cold sky. I thought I was alone, until I felt her again. You cannot end eternity, Lyrain, her voice murmured from the stars. You and I are bound. You are my light, as I am yours. And I realized the truth. The prison I built was not perfect. She had left a fragment of herself within me. Every pulse of my being carried her essence. I had become her echo. Now, as I walk this dead world, I see her reflection in every fading star. I feel her pull, summoning me back across the cosmic sea. She whispers promises of redemption, of reunion, of endless purpose. Return to me, she says. Together, we shall reign beyond the stars. I do not answer, because I know that if I do, I will no longer be myself. I will be haze again. Yet every day, the light grows stronger. And deep down, I wonder, was immortality the curse she promised me all along?